man, y'all just don't know how good I feel right now. What's going on, everybody? So, we got my daddy's 86 Silverado here. For those y'all don't know, it's got a little 350 vortec. I swapped in it a while back. Got a little cam in it. That's pretty much it. Size of headers. Turbo 350 transmission. Stock rear end. Pretty much a stock truck. Just pulled the 305 out. Put this 350 in it. Been working on getting it, you know, running and driving where you can get in it and drive it every day, which, I mean, you could do it right now. It still needs a few little odd and end things on it. The main problem we're still having is with this damn carburetor. So if you've been following along with the channel, you'll know that I've been working on this project for quite a while. I mean, it's been running and driving for the past few months, but still having problems with this damn carburetor here. And we still need a belt and some header bolts and gaskets on the headers, but I ain't been worried about that because I ain't got the damn carburetor acting right yet. So I got the choke and all figured out. You know, it'll start and run, and it'll sit here and run, and it idles decent, but after it warms up and the idle comes down on it, it starts idling down and up and all over the place. And if you go down the road with it and give it over half throttle, it'll start busting up and spitting and sputtering and pinging and all that crap. So I'm gonna try to figure this thing out today. I've already had it fired up for a couple minutes, but I shut her back off. It ain't exactly warmed up yet, so we'll get her fired back up and I'll let it warm up and show y'all how it acts and all that. I have found one thing on this deal that I was having a problem with the other carburetor on it, and I'll get it fired up and we'll let it warm up and I'll show y'all what I found, and then we'll see if we can figure out 100% what the problem is and maybe get this thing fixed today. It should start right back up. Had to hit the throttle a little bit, get the fast idle on the choke to engage. It seems to be running alright right now, but we'll let her get warmed up and then I'll tell y'all what's going on. It ain't got much gas in it, but it might have enough gas in it to go down the road. That way y'all can see how it does driving down the road, you know. If you hear a little rattling down there, that's the exhaust down there. It ain't all good and tight yet, so I got to get all the exhaust tightened up, and then you won't hear that rattle. Don't worry, it ain't nothing in the motor. So before we put this Quadrajet on here, I had a quick fuel carburetor on here, and it was a square bore carb, and this is a spread bore intake, but it had a little plate that come with it that you put on there and made it where you could put a square bore carb on it. So I figured it was sealed off, except when it was running, it would idle up and down and kind of act like this one here does. It just wouldn't run right. And I could take some brake cleaner or carb cleaner like this right here, and I could spray it in this general area with the other carburetor on it, and the motor would idle up like it was leaking air in there somewhere. But I couldn't ever figure it out. I took the carburetor apart, couldn't figure it out, put new gaskets on the carburetor, checked the seal right there, couldn't figure that out. So I just figured there was something up with the carburetor. Well, we ended up buying this Quadrajet because that's what my daddy wanted to put on here anyhow, and it's doing just about the same thing as the quick fuel is doing. And I don't know how good you can tell, but when I spray in that area, the motor idles up a little bit. And it did the exact same thing with that quick fuel carburetor. So I'm thinking either we're having a problem sealing down here, or maybe this intake might have a small crack in it somewhere. This is just a cheap Chinese intake, so I wouldn't doubt it if it had a little crack in it there somewhere. It's only when I spray right here, it's like it's in the linkage or something. Oh yeah, it come on up that time. As you can tell, we definitely got an air leak in this area somewhere, and it did the exact same thing with the other carburetor I had on here. So I'm thinking something to do with the sealing surface, or that damn intake has a crack somewhere. So what we're about to do is pull this carburetor off and see what we can find. If we can't find nothing, then I'm gonna pull the carburetor off my truck and put it on here, because I know it works, and if it runs good with my carburetor on it, then we'll know it's the carburetor and not something else. I was gonna drive it down the road and show y'all how it does going down the road, but you'll just have to take my word for it, because she ain't got much gas in her and I don't want to run out. Yeah, once you're going down the road, if you just barely take off, it does good, but try to give it over half throttle and it acts up real bad. You know what, let me try to find some gas, at least a half a gallon or something. Maybe I can drain some out of the four-wheeler or rob some out of the C10. I don't feel like going to the store just to get a little bit of gas. I might later on, but I done been to town one time today, so I'm just gonna try to rob some gas out of something. That way we can run it down the road and show y'all how it's acting instead of trying to explain it. Poor thing, always getting its fuel robbed. That's why it never has any in it. Hell, I don't nothing around here ever had gas in it. What am I talking about? Oh yeah. It's a lot easier to get gas out of here than it is in my four-wheeler. Four-wheeler just slowly runs out, you know, where this thing here pumps it out pretty good. That should be good enough. Yes. Yeah, that's probably a gallon or so there. Damn, man. Come on now, don't tell me I'm so stupid I can't even put a damn lid on. We'll run her down the road and show y'all how she does. And if we run out, we won't be stranded. Shall I say, if I run out, I won't be stranded. Y'all ain't gonna be stranded. Y'all be sitting on your couch or in your bed watching this. I'll be the one on the side of the road. I went ahead and put a little bit of that gas in it, just in case. Needle didn't budge though. Alright, we are on the left-hand tank. Let's take her for a stroll down the road and we'll show y'all how it does. This thing will bark second though. You take off. Just leave her in drive. Take off about half throttle. That was about half throttle. It didn't spit and sputter as bad as it usually is. See, now it's out of up high. Alright. Take off kind of easy. I don't know how good you're gonna be able to tell in the video if it's sputtering and all, but it's definitely struggling. The motor feels like it's got good power though. For one thing, I know the 4 barrels ain't kicking in. So now we're gonna pull this carburetor off and see if we can see what's going on with the sealing surface, or maybe there's a crack right there, or the linkage in this carburetor. I don't know. See, now it's idled up real high. When I left, I had it idled low. Man, that daggum exhaust rattling down there is about to drive me nuts. I'm gonna have to fix that crap. Got her off of there. I mean, I don't see nothing out of whack with the intake here. I don't see any kind of crack or nothing like that in it. So I got her flipped upside down here. You can see where the gasket was imprinted on the intake. So it looks like it was sealing everywhere. Transfer slots are cracked way too far open. Pulled the gasket off. I figured, hell, let me find a screwdriver. And look at that. That one there ain't even tight all the way. This one here is just barely tightened up. That one's pretty tight. So, hell, this might be our problem right here. I don't think it is, but it might be. Only thing is, these screws are over here, and I was spraying right in here. So, I don't know, but it's worth a try, I reckon. We'll tighten them up, throw it back on there, and see what it does real quick. So I tightened up a few screws. We had a couple up top, a little loose too, not real bad, but I went ahead and tightened them up. And we're gonna throw it back on here and see what that does. I'm about 90% sure that's not gonna solve the problem, but you know, you gotta try it anyhow and see. Plus I'm gonna have to do a little modifications to get my carburetor on here. So if I could make this one work by just tightening some screws up, that would be sweet. There we go. You got some fuel up there now. Oh, shit. Damn choke. Forgot about the choke. It ain't hooked up. So, screwdriver it is. Yeah, it's still revving up a little bit. A little bit better, but it's still spitting and sputtering and all that crap. It barked second a little bit that time. I don't know if you could hear it or not. Turn around and go back to the house, and I think we're just gonna go ahead and put my carburetor on it off my truck and see how it acts, and then we'll go from there. It might be something wrong with the ignition system. I've thought about that. I did pull the distributor cap off the other day and looked at it. Everything looked good under there. I don't know, it might be the distributor itself. Yeah, I was thinking maybe it could be something in the distributor, you know, but I don't know, man. Every time I spray something right there, the motor idles up a little bit. So, I mean, I don't know. But we're about to snatch this joker back off again. Then we're going to pull the one off my C10 and put it on here. Set the carburetor on, tighten her down, and see how she'll run. Alright, she's on there. Now, I did notice when I set it down on there that it was like kind of, you know, wobbly back and forth, like it wasn't sitting exactly flat. So, maybe our intake ain't flat and it's a hump in it or something. I don't know. We about to fire this thing up though and see how this carburetor runs. She's still got a little bit of gas in her. Let's run her down the road now and see how she does with this carburetor. Nope, still acting exactly the same. I think even if we did have a little bit of a vacuum leak, you know, not sealing on the base plate of the carburetor or whatever, I still don't think it would bust up and pop and stuff as bad as this thing's doing. Woohoo! Yeah, a second good that time. There's oil everywhere back there. So I don't know what the hell is going on with that. We got oil blowing out somewhere all over the damn place. Oh man, never ends. The rain has finally caught up to me, so I guess we're gonna stop it right here for now. We got oil blowing out everywhere back there somewhere. I don't know if it's coming out of that oil pressure sending unit deal. Well, I put it back on there the other day. Maybe I didn't get it tight enough, or what the deal is. And also, I can see a transmission bolt hanging out right there, about to fall out actually. So I guess daggum bolts are rattling loose down there. We ain't even got the daggum spitting and sputtering figuring out, and we got more problems popping up. But I'm gonna have to fool with this thing another day. It's just freaking raining on me. So it's been a couple days since we last fooled this thing. It just got done raining. Everything's nice and wet, but figured I'd come out here and fiddle around with this thing a little bit. Now we done swap carburetors and all that good stuff. It made somewhat of a difference, but not a whole lot of difference. Plus we still got a little bit of a leak on this one, or maybe the intake's not flat. That could be one of our problems. It runs good when it's idling, or mostly good. I mean, you can rev it up fairly easy. It don't stumble or nothing like that. It's mainly when you're just going down the road under load. So I'm thinking we're gonna dive into the ignition here, maybe swap the whole distributor out. But I gotta figure out that damn oil leak too. Plus we got a transmission bolt laying right there. just fell completely out, and I think there's another one loose up there. It looks like valve cover bolt is back down on that one a little bit. So we got some stuff coming unloose, so I'm gonna have to go over nut and bolt check this thing, tighten up our transmission bolts before they fall out and lose transmission. That wouldn't be fun. Got our distributor out. See, everything under cap looks pretty good. Button all looks good. Distributor here. I don't see nothing out of the ordinary on it, but you can tell this distributor is kind of shiny, and that's because this is one of them cheap Amazon, eBay, off-brand Chinese distributors. So this could very well be our problem. So we got another distributor here. And I think this one is a Chinese off-brand distributor too, but pretty sure this one works. I think I've used it to crank some motors with it on the ground and whatnot. You ain't able to drive a motor on the ground and see how it does under load, but we're gonna try it. I think it'll probably work. Now this thing was pointing basically right there at that little plug that goes through the firewall, so we're gonna drop her back in right there. It moved a little bit, but it'll be all right. We can turn her where we need her to go. All right, distributor in, all that hooked up. Got bolts all in and tightened up. Had one over here loose, and we lost one on the bottom there. So it's a good thing I seen that when I did, or we might have lost all our damn transmission bolts. But bad news, it's starting to rain, so we might have to cut this short again. I would like to at least get on there and check the torque converter bolts before we roll this thing down the road or fire it up. Damn rain cloud. Look, sun shining over there, sun shining back that way. Damn rain cloud right over the top of me. What kind of damn bullshit is that? Rain finally stopped. Checked the oil. It's still showing full, so we ain't lost much oil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fire it up and see how she runs. Now our distributor did move a little bit, so we're gonna push it back a little bit. I think it should be about right there. Oh, the battery cable jumped off or something. Alright, I didn't get the start up, but it started right up. It's running fine. This carburetor ain't ever did this on that truck over there. I've always had to start it up and sit there and pump it and hold it at about a couple grand anyhow, let it warm up, and then it would idle. But all I did is pumped it them few times under the hood there. Once I got the battery cable situated, it's fired right up. Seems to be running pretty good. Alright, I forgot about the oil leak, so let's figure that out. Might just be blowing out of this valve cover right here. I think that's what it's doing. So I'm gonna tighten this down. And hopefully that's all it is. Yeah, it does seem to be running a lot smoother though. So maybe the distributor was a problem. I hope that's what it is. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. I think we'll go down here and turn around and then we'll see what she does. I couldn't help myself. I kind of already, leaned into it a little bit, and I think we may have got her, y'all. I think we may have got her whooped. I ain't gonna say just yet. We're gonna turn around and try it again. I forgot to hook up the modulator valve, and I don't feel like jumping out and trying to pry the thing off of it. So let's go ahead and we'll just manual shift her. I was gonna do that anyhow. Alright, let's see how she does. Take off kind of easy, and we'll roll into it. Woo! Oh yeah! Hell yeah! She got a little squirrely on me that time, boy. Hell yeah! I think we got her whooped, y'all. Man, oh my god, man, y'all just don't know how good I feel right now. I should have been changed that damn distributor. We got her now, that's all that matters. So now all we gotta do is throw the quadrijet back on it and get all our vacuum lines and stuff hooked up for the windshield wipers and all that. Now that we finally got the daggum stumbling and spitting and sputtering problem figured out, now maybe I can finish this thing up, which it don't need much. The belt, vacuum lines, header bolts and gaskets. We're gonna eventually put the AC stuff back on it. And now that we got this daggum spitting and sputtering out of the way, now we can go ahead and finish wrapping it up. This motor's got a little, it's got a little ass to it, I ain't gonna lie. For just a little Vortec motor. Go ahead and drop her down and low and hit her one more time for y'all. Give her a slow roll. Woo! Oh yeah. Eddie ain't gonna know what to do with this thing. This some bitch here probably run off and leave his truck he's driving now. Old TBI 350. This thing might be done got away from his ass. I'm gonna have to warn him. Finally got this mother freaker fixed and running good. Man, I feel good. That's almost better than sex. Not quite, but damn near. Finally got this thing figured out. The whole time, the back of my head was saying ignition, ignition, ignition. But I just didn't want to believe it, I don't guess. Now all I gotta do is put the old quadrijet back on here and get my carburetor back on my truck. And then, like I said, we got to get a belt on her, header gaskets and bolts on it, and then it'll be pretty much ready to get in and drive wherever he wants to go in it. You know, we can put the AC and stuff on it later. But finally got this thing figured out, so I reckon I'm gonna end this one off here. Y'all just let me know what y'all think about it, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Later.